Hi friends! This video is going to be today's lesson, and for today's lesson we're talking about shapes. Now on this board I've traced all of the metal insets and written the name of the shape underneath, and we're going to review them. Now some of these shapes you already know, and some of these shapes we're still learning about. So we're going to go through and talk about each one, okay? So the first shape we're going to talk about is a circle. You can see the shape of the circle. It's a line that keeps going. For our next shape, see if you remember the name of this shape. Do you remember this shape? It's an ellipse. That's right. Now an ellipse looks an awful lot like our next shape, and sometimes they get confusing. Our next shape is an oval. Now can you see the difference between the ellipse and the oval? The oval is slightly smaller on one end than the other, but the ellipse is the same shape all around. Now the next shape is one of my favorites, and I think most of you know it's my favorite. It's the quatrefoil. It's one of my favorite words to say. And I love the quatrefoil because it reminds me of a four-leaf clover or a flower. And it's just a fun shape and a fun word to say. Now the next shape is my other favorite shape. This one has a really long name. This one is a curvilinear triangle. Can you try and say that? Curvilinear triangle. It's a hard one to say, but I like this shape a lot. Now our next shape is a pretty simple one. It's a square. Now a square is a special shape because it has four sides, but they're all the same length. So each side of a square is the same length. Now our next shape looks a lot like a square, but it isn't. It is a rectangle. Now a rectangle has two sides that are the same length, and then another two sides that are the same length. But not all four are the same. All right, here's our next shape. Triangle. Now a triangle has three sides. 1, 2, 3. Now here comes a fun shape to say, and it's a fun shape to try to draw too. It is a trapezoid. Can you try to say that? Trapezoid. I like that word too. Now a trapezoid has four sides, but are they all the same length? No, they're not. All right, and here's our last shape for today. It's a pentagon. Now a pentagon has five sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And penta or pent means 5. All right, my friends. So these are our shapes from our metal insets. Now, your challenge today, your assignment today, is to try and draw some shapes. Now, for my friends who are still learning how to write, I suggest you try tracing your shapes. And I have this one. This is our beginning tracing shapes. And it's a really fun one. You just have to remember to follow the dotted lines, and then you can color them in when you're finished. Now some of my friends like to trace these, color them in, and then cut them out to glue them onto a piece of colorful paper. That's a lot of fun to do. Now I have other shape tracing worksheets. They get a little more difficult as you go. So this one has some shapes we didn't talk about. This one has a hexagon and a heart and a diamond. Those are fun shapes. Remember, follow the dotted line, and the arrows show you what direction to go. Now, if you're practicing writing and you have a lot of practice doing it, there's some more challenging shape tracings. These ones start with a big shape and go to a smaller version of that shape. And then this one is probably the most challenging because the shapes are small and there's so many of each one, and there's a star. A star shape is one of my favorite to try to make. Now, for my friends who have a lot of practice writing, you can try to draw these shapes all on your own. Now, what you can do is, I've taken a picture of this and uploaded it to the file that I sent to your parents, and they can print that out so that you can look at it and practice drawing these shapes and naming them. So you can try and write the name underneath the shape after you're done. I would love to see your work. So your parents can take a picture of your work and post it onto Facebook, and then I get to see what you're working on, and so do your friends. It'll be really fun. Now, our final challenge, and this is a tough one, but anybody can try this, is to draw a picture only using a triangle, a square, circle, and a rectangle to try and make it look like a person, a tree, or a dog, or all three. Now, it's fun to try to make shapes look like the things around us, because the things around us look like shapes. I mean, they have shapes. Like this is a square. So if you use those shapes, triangle, square, rectangle, and circle, and try to draw a picture with them, a person, a tree, or a dog, and then take a picture and post it on Facebook so we can all see what you came up with. It'll be pretty fun. Okay, my friends, I'm really excited to see your work, and I hope you have fun doing it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.